Yes, sir. What is going on, guys? Welcome to another video of the Per Sources podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. Uh, this video we're going to be reacting to the Washington Commanders versus the New Orleans Saints game that just happened on Sunday. My video is a little bit late. I'm sorry, guys. I've been super busy with family, life, running errands, and news. I have a baby boy coming up, so getting all that stuff ready and being prepared. But yeah, want to get right into the video. This was not a pretty win at all. This was what was looking like a dominant win turned into an ugly win, a scrape by win. Excuse me, we barely scraped by and got the victory. And to be quite honest, we should not have gotten that victory in the end had it not been for a terrible call there for the 2-point conversion from the New Orleans Saints. I do want to address one of the most egregious things that I saw during the game. That was the referee stopping the clock there with about less than 10 seconds to go when Spencer Rattler throws a short dump off pass to the tight end. I think his last name is Moreau. I don't know his first name, but Moreau, the tight end, is tackled about 3 to 2 yards short of the goal line, and the referee on the baseline or the sideline stops the clock momentarily, signals for the clock to stop, giving the New Orleans Saints about 3 to 4, I would say 4 to 5 additional seconds for them to get to the line of scrimmage and spike the ball and still have about 4 to 3 seconds left for an additional play. Now that we're on that subject, obviously that was a really bad play from the referee, and the NFL should issue a statement on that because it could have cost the Commanders the game. And every game now has playoff implications as far as playoff seeding, and there's still teams that are in the hunt for the wild card positions or spots that could make some noise depending on how these last 2 to 3 games go. But now that we're on the subject of the last play of the game, Derek Forrest. Derek Forrest and his family have been, bitching about them not getting enough playing time and not getting enough opportunities under Dan Quinn to show that they are the playmaker that, Derek Forrest says he is, and that in his first couple of seasons that he showed that he was. I mean, he really did show in his first couple of seasons that he was a playmaking safety, and he had some good plays in him. But this game after Quan Martin goes down, it was not a pretty game from Derek Forrest at all. He got burned a couple of times, and he got beat by Moreau, I believe, again on that touchdown. If somebody else by a different name beat Derek Forrest, that is, please correct me in the comments section. But yeah, it was not a good performance from Derek Forrest, and I hope we don't hear from his father or any of his family members on social media again, because he really did not show his worth coming in and as a relief duty or as a substitute, as a sub off the bench for Quan Martin. One of the things that I think any player or really anywhere in any profession, you can apply it to your own profession if you're not in sports. If you're vying for a position, in this case, Derek Forrest is vying to be or has been claiming that he should be getting more opportunities to play as a safety or just be on the field as one of the starters. You better be ready to show up and show out when the opportunity is given to you. Just like in your everyday job, if you're vying for a higher position, you better be ready to show out in when you're being called upon or you're being summoned to perform. And so yeah, that was very disappointing. I hope we don't hear from his family or Derek complaining about that anymore, about complaining about him not getting enough reps. We clearly saw why Quan Martin was the starter or has been the starter. If it wasn't Quan Martin, I think it was Chin that the Rick Force came in for. I think because Jeremy Chin took a really bad hit and stayed down for a little bit. So, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't get offended at all. Oh, by the way, please subscribe. Help the channel grow. Jaden Daniels, I think it was starting to look like that dominant game. Those dominant games that Jaden Daniels has put up and performed all throughout his rookie season. But we saw the missed throws, that easy throw to Terry McLaurin down the sideline that should have been a touchdown. That should have been another highlight in Jaden Daniels' excellent rookie campaign. But unfortunately, it was a missed opportunity, and those missed opportunities started to give life to the New Orleans Saints, and you saw what happened. One thing that is important to remember, guys, that kind of leaves a bad taste in people's mouth, especially I'm talking about Commanders fans, is that the New Orleans Saints started their third string quarterback, Jake Haener, that is, out of Fresno State. Just as a quick sign, I remember I saw a comeback game from Jake Haener at Fresno State where he threw like a Hail Mary or something with like a broken shoulder or some shit. It was crazy. But yeah, he wasn't doing that good, and even still we could not pull away. The field goal kicker, I think he missed a kick or something like that. So yeah, it was not a pretty game. Jaden Daniels, he had some pretty crazy plays, some scrambles. That one, and I think it's the first or second quarter where he actually goes to the ground, gets up, and throws a touchdown to Terry. That's Terry's first touchdown in the game. Great catch by Terry, by the way. Terry McLaurin has just been balling this season. He should be an All-Pro, whether it be first team or second team. That I don't think it really matters, so long as he's an All-Pro. So that he has that in his resume. But great play by Jaden and by Terry, and so yeah, it's just disappointing that the Saints were kind of like the Tennessee Titans in my eyes, that we were supposed to dominate that game, and so it kind of leaves a lot of questions and holes for the Commanders to answer and to fill. It also leaves a lot of questions for the Washington Commanders fans as to, we have a pretty tough schedule coming up. I think we have the Cowboys again. We have, I think, the Lions. And so these next few weeks are going to be some tough weeks in order for us to solidify our position in the playoffs. Obviously, the Eagles lead the division, so they'll be automatically in. We're not catching up, and that's okay so long as we have a wild card spot. I think that's something that we can be happy about as Commanders fans and see what happens. So long as you're in the dance, you never know what can happen. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video, kind of get that off my chest. I expected more. Brian Robinson, he had a lot of touches, had some gritty yards, but I think we missed that explosive run, that kind of like what we saw against the Titans. I know it's the New Orleans Saints, different defense, better defense, but I think there were some where it looked like he could pop out and go for that long run or explosive run, but it just didn't happen. Zach Ertz, he left the game. I don't know if it was a shoulder or concussion, but it didn't look good when he went down. It's not looking good for him to come back. We just signed a tight end. I believe it was like 6'7", from a former Eagle to our practice squad. So you can see that Dan Quinn is preparing to go about the rest of the season without Zach Ertz. And so I hope Jerry McChin can come back and make that defense whole again, because we saw what life without Jerry McChin looks like, and it wasn't good. This game should have been a blowout in my eyes. It should not have been that close. Spencer Rattler is not Derek Carr, no matter what people say. But he looked pretty good against the Commanders there in the second half. And so I think we just have to do a better job. There were some shitty calls by the refs. I'm not going to deny that. Dante Fowler got a lot of shitty calls. Roughing the passer. Roughing the passer, I think there were a couple of those. Unnecessary roughness type of shit that shouldn't really be been called. I think it was petty by the refs. Dante Fowler tried to do his best to pull off when he didn't pull off, and so that just kind of gave life to the Saints. But also our missed opportunities gave life to the New Orleans Saints, and we allowed them to come back, and they almost beat us, and had we not won this game, we would have been 8-6, and really been in a tough spot to try to make the playoffs. But I want to end on a positive note. This is the first winning season by the Washington Commanders. I think it's in 8 years. Again, if I'm mistaken, please correct me, but I think it's been 8 years since we had a winning season. Obviously, we made the playoffs in the first year that Ron Rivera was the head coach, but that was a losing record. We had a losing record. So that's something that we can hang our hat on as Washington Commanders fans. We're turning the page from a losing era. We're trying to get on the road to winning ways. And so, hey, first step, it has to be taken somehow, so I'll take it. But all right, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all, sticking with me to the video. Please subscribe, like the video. Y'all have a good night.